Hey guys, and today's video, drive-by. I'm in southern Florida on the I-75. It's about 87 degrees. It's March 4th, 2015. And I hope everybody is doing healthy, wealthy, and wise. And like I say, it's about 2:26 in the afternoon, and it's Wednesday. So I wanted to say a few things, and today's discussion is on well systems. What not to get and what to get. I have to bring this up because living in southern Florida, I am on the I-75 now, headed towards Tampa. I had purchased a house that just had your stock well system in it. Okay. And well filtration system, and I'm not talking about, the well like in the ground. Okay. Normally, and I'm going to go through some of the filtration process. Well water is normally just groundwater, and groundwater can have anything that's in it from the ground. If you live in southern Florida, their water is pretty bad. We have mangroves, so you get a lot of tannins, which is a yellow color, almost looks like tea, and you get a lot of sulfur smell. There's sulfur bacteria in there. Some has pesticides and bacteria, stuff that leaches into the groundwater. So their water's not the greatest, and there is places in Florida the water's good. Running in a well, but I would probably never drink the water out of a well if it's not treated before going into your house. And this is usually how it works. Your well water, okay, comes in, okay, and goes into a few different ways. Okay, first it can come into a holding basin, which is a giant, like 100-gallon, 150-gallon, whatever. Might be 200 gallons. It's a giant holding tank. Now the water comes in through the top, fills the tank up. Now in that tank you have a pump. And then that pump, okay, is always on, feeds the water into a water softener. And a water softener reduces the hardness because well water's hard. And what it does is it has a media in there, an ionic exchange media, and from there it goes into your house. Now, that's just very simple. What happens, you also have a tank that salt is drawn up with salt brine solution that you add to it by pellets, and that reacts with the hard water particles, just the minerals, and it combines with the salt, and then it just drains out into a drain into the woods or your leach field or whatever. That's really simple. It's not drinking water. It's just basically for washing your clothes and maybe taking a shower. The problem with the basic system like that, and that's what a lot of your houses have on it, is you don't have any control of bacteria or parasites, and the color for washing your clothes and stuff, and smell. So it would smell, it would be brown, or brownish, look like tea, okay, and it would still have bacteria in it. The water would be softened, but that's how it is. Now another stage, there's another system you can get, and would have a chlorinator. So what that was, when the water comes in from the well and fills that big holding tank, there's a device that drops chlorine in there. The chlorine would oxidize any iron, destroy any of the bacteria or parasites in the water. And from there, it will go into your water softener. The problem is, chlorine does not react good with the water softener and can damage it. So what they'll usually have on a very, very simple system, they'll have the holding tank with the chlorine. Okay, so that would kill all the bacteria, but your water is still discolored and oxidize some of the smell and stuff like that. From there, it will go into a carbon filter. The carbon filter would remove the color, the sulfur smell. Then it will go into the water filter, would soften it, and it will go into your house. After it goes in your house, that water is fine for bathing, showering, washing your clothes, but you're not going to drink it, because then one line will go over to your sink into a reverse osmosis, and that would make it drinking water. Reverse osmosis just is Basically, under pressure, water is sent into a membrane, which is semi-permeable, but it will only let certain particles, water molecules, certain molecules go through it. So anything else that's like, cysts, and parasites, and viruses, and crap like that, it would filter out. So it brings down the TDS, which is total dissolved solids in the water, so you can drink it, and that would be your drinking water. Most people supplement that with a water cooler, and they fill the 5-gallon jugs like a Walmart or a store like that, and that's probably a better thing to do. Now, with that said, there's also a few other ways you can do your system. You can reverse osmosis in a house, but it's very expensive. Different companies in southern Florida and other places don't really give a shit about you, and they just want to make money. So what they do a lot of times, they really screw you. And I'll give you an example. I bought a house with a very simple well system in it, which is a holding tank with a water softener. So the water was brown and it smelled a little, and you could put chlorine tablets in there, but we didn't do it because one of my family members is kind of allergic to it, and if it's not filtered out of the water, they can get a reaction. But anyway, we lived like that for a few years, 4 years, until I got some money where I was able to upgrade it. So I contacted another company, and they went in for like $3,800, I think it was. They went ahead and put in took out my holding tank totally. And that was the question. I don't know why they did that, but they took it out. And they put in a small, it's an air tank, which gives it vacuum and everything. It holds 13 gallons. And that's just what happened is the well would fill this little tank up, and then that from there would go to a carbon filter, and then it would go to a water softener in the house. That seemed dandy and fine, but the only problem we had is that for like about, when it was initially put in, the color was gone because the carbon filter and some of the media and the water softener removed some of that color. And the smell wasn't, the carbon filter sucked up most of the smell. So it really wasn't that bad. It still wasn't drinkable because it still went over to the reverse osmosis that we used that, so we used our water. But it was good for bathing. You didn't have to look like a black bathtub of water. But over a period of about a month, the smell came back and the water got discoloration again. I called the company 3 or 4 times. They came out, cleaned it out. Coming to find out, what they didn't do is they didn't put a chlorinator in there. And the way they had the tanks arranged were a little different. So what happened, it wasn't working right. And I called them 4 or 5 times. They said they might have to shock the well in the ground, which means they put chlorine there to kill the bacteria. What happened, there's still bacteria there, and the bacteria was clogging up the carbon filter, and then the carbon filter couldn't handle it, and it wasn't working good. So I really didn't know where to turn, who to call, and I called around a few different places. And then finally, I got a hold of Culligan Water. And they came out, looked at the system. They said the whole system's totally wrong. They said normally on a well system, it's supposed to be like this. The water would come in from the ground, right? It's pumped down from the deep in the earth, from the aquifer. Aquifer is just like a lake underground where all the water and shit and everything collects. It will come out of there. Okay, it goes into an air tank. From there, the pressure from that air tank pushes the water, and it should go first to your water softener. Reason being, the water softener will remove the color and will make the water soft. The next step is the water will go into a holding tank. And the holding tank has it's called a chlorinator on the side of it. It's a device that puts drops of chlorine in the well. And that chlorine kills any bacteria, parasites, viruses. It also oxidizes any iron. It actually helps with cleaning the water up again. And it sits in there and it does its job. Okay? From there, the water goes to a carbon filter. The carbon filter removes any of the chlorine, some of the other taste and impurities out of the water. And from there it goes into the house, into your reverse osmosis, into your sink. Getting that system in our house right now, I can't speak for a month from now, but it's been running for about a month. Getting that system in our house has given us crystal clear water. I mean, just like regular crystal city water, with no smell, period, and very soft for washing. And then that water goes into the reverse osmosis. The sink gets filtered even more, and you can drink that. We still have our standby water cooler that we always use, but now our water, we don't really have to worry. Now, let's get to cost. For just a basic system like that, you are going to look at about $9,700 from Culligan. But an alternate system from a cheaper company may cost you $5,000. For that extra $5,000 or $5,400 or whatever, okay, you are getting the following: 1 year complete warranty, covering your salts and your chloramine. You don't have to pay nothing for 1 year. They come out and they add it and everything. At the end, and then at the end of 1 year, okay, you still have a warranty, but you can get the extended warranty, which we are going to take, which is about $70 a month. And what that includes, all your chloramine, all your salt, and all the equipment, 100% warranty. You really should get it that way, because it is worry-free. Because if you go and buy salts, the average cost of salts for a well system, depending on how much you use, you can use up to maybe 4 bags a month. Okay, 4 bags of salt, you know, for your 40 pound. If you buy the good stuff, it's about 6. That's about $24 for that salt. Now, I don't know what chloramine runs, but I know it's more than salt. Probably the chlorine, maybe it's $20. So you're probably going to pay about $50, $55. It depends on how much you use. It might be $60, but probably about $50. Granted, they get the supplies cheaper, probably. Okay, so $55. Now, add on to that, you're only going to spend about $20 to $30 a month for your extended warranty on your equipment, which is well worth it in my book. So if you're looking for a water system, I really think, and you're in southern Florida, you can text me or email me, and I will give you the name of my salesman, because I'm not trying to sell a system, and I will have a video up here of the Culligan system, because I do have it installed, and I did have another system from somebody else. They tried as much as they could, but they were out 3-4 times a month, and I just didn't want to deal with it. And there's a right way and there's a wrong way. And really, Culligan guys, you're going to pay more money for it, but it's worth it. Now, you can get even a whole house RO system, which is probably like $12,000, because what they would have to do is put this system on still, and then after that, then they put the RO on it, because you've got to treat all that water before it gets into your house. So really, if it's 10, so another $2,000, you can put the RO system on your house and treat the whole house, and your water's pure for everything. But anyway, doing all that to the water really helps it. And now, if you have a lot of salt water coming into your well, then there's an added cost there. Because salt water comes in from, depends on where you live, in Florida, it's from the Gulf. So there's another cost. But for about that price, and that's pretty standard. They use top of the line of equipment, and it works, because our equipment is running fine now. I haven't had a problem yet, so I can't speak like if we have a problem, we have to call them, what kind of service we'll get, but I'm sure it's going to be pretty good. Culligan's a very well-known, reputable company, but they're more expensive, so, but if you're talking about water in your home, same thing like with air conditioners, you know, sometimes you have to pay a little bit more, don't get the bottom of the line. But speaking of air conditioners, if you do want to get an air conditioner done, in the winter is the best time to get an air conditioning system in. You will save probably about $2,000 in the air conditioning system. But thanks a lot for tuning into my video, and hopefully these tips have helped you your decision in buying a well system. But also on a well system, if your water smells and it's got color, chances are that's the hydrogen sulfide, okay? And the brown is tannin. You can get rid of that tannin color by having your well guy come up and add a tannin resin to your water softener, and that does help it. That will take out the tannin color. But the sulfides usually need to be oxidized down by chlorine. You can have a carbon filter do it, but then the carbon filter is working too much. But I wanted to bring that up, let you know, tell me what you think. But I'm just trying to give you some advice. If you have a well system, filtration system in your home, if you could and I wouldn't, all the internet shit, I would go with Culligan. They got good equipment. They're a little bit pricey, but just like anything, a good quality product is going to cost you more than a cheap shit-ass product. And if you have the money, buy it. If you don't, well, then there's other ways you can do it. Like I say, you can run a carbon filter. You can still put chlorine tank with a water softener, a little cheaper quality. You could probably do it. But you might not get the warranty, and then you will still have to be lugging your bags of salt, chlorine, and it. So thanks a lot for tuning into my video, and that's my video on well systems, my DriveBy video. I will have a Culligan video up showing you how the Culligan system looks. So thanks a lot. Have a great day.